Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Saturday, March 4th. So we have the moon in Leo all day. That's going to be super helpful for us. We definitely have a fire, a spark, a flame taking over our heart space. With the moon in Leo, of course, we're trying to tap into that boldness, the bravery, the courage that we need to not only move forward, but to clean that heart space out, to be truly expressive with what it is that we're thinking and feeling, really get it off of our heart space and tap into a new level of creativity with where it is that we are going to come up with some solutions to some of our standing problems. Now, the moon in Leo is the heart and soul of the zodiac, so there is some heart activations that come along with this. We want so badly to be happy and cheerful, and we want to kind of tap into that playful energy, that curiosity, and we do have some powerful aspects that will really help illuminate those particular qualities. But we're definitely going to have some not so nice interactions as well here today that will tap into the shadow realm of those particular aspects as well. So with 11 different aspects here today and 7 of them involving the moon, we are definitely in for a roller coaster, hopefully a happy, cheerful roller coaster, emotional kind of day. We start off with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, money, semi-squaring tension and conflict with Saturn, the lord of karma, ruling over roles, responsibilities, structures, foundations, who of course is at this very final critical crisis degree in Aquarian energy. This is a lot of weight on our heart space. This is a lot of negativity that kind of infiltrates our brain, in our mental plane, in our inner narrative, our inner dialogue. We do feel an intense kind of, I'm going to say, obligation to some of the people in our lives. However, this is a good realization on where it is that we've actually learned or failed Saturn's lesson in Aquarian energy, which was all about recognizing where boundaries are needed in order for us to stop playing small, where it is that we have to stop trying to fit in, where it is that we have to stop sacrificing our own wants, needs, and desires in order to do what we think other people want us to do or what we think other people expect us to do. This is about boundaries. And because Venus is in a brand new life cycle in this Aries energy, really trying to, kind of re-identify who it is that she is with this new glow up, this new self-esteem, this new confidence, really kind of establishing what and who makes her the happiest, provide us with the most safety, security, stability in our lives. This is a huge weight on where it is that we need to cut some people off, create distance in some personal relationships. This is where the boundaries of Saturn are really kind of intensifying within us, because he doesn't have much time left in this Aquarian energy. We have to boss up, we have to mature, we have to learn these lessons, and we have to rise to the occasion of where it is that we may have to make some dramatic changes in our physical realm, especially where personal relationships are concerned, if we stand a chance in creating a new reality where happiness and joy and love and support and encouragement are the name of the game. The moon is going to go ahead, bump into the sun in a very positive, harmonious way. And let me just say that with the moon in Leo, the heart and soul of the zodiac, very emotional, very in tune with what it is that we're feeling, while the sun shines a bright light in Pisces energy that makes us super, super hypersensitive, super emotional, super, I'm going to say, empathetic, compassionate, forgiving. There is a spiritual sense of, I would say, tapping into the larger, greater, grander emotions of our spiritual experiences and understanding how the tough love life lessons that we've gone through have totally shaped, molded, and created our personal emotional circumstances that we're currently learning how to accept and stand in with pride. Okay, so there's a lot of painful experiences that many of us would kind of deem to be shameful or weakness or vulnerable, and not realizing that those have been divinely scripted by our higher selves in order to push us into our greatest amount of strength and potential and power. And so with the sun being in this Pisces energy, shining a bright light on our emotional state, yes, we're going to be very expressive in what it is that we're thinking and feeling, but also very cleansing with getting some things off of our heart space and really kind of lightening the load in our emotional baggage that we should be really unpacking at this point in time in the calendar and rearranging so that we're not dragging as many emotional suitcases into this particular new astrological year. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Neptune in Pisces energy as well, its rulership. And this is going to make it really hard for us to align with our higher self and trust our intuition. Again, the moon in Leo is very ego, identity based, right? It's within that first little chapter of the zodiac wheel where we're trying to kind of redefine ourselves, our identity, who it is that we are. The Neptune energy is our dreams, our creativity, our ideas, our higher self, our intuition. And this is an awkward interaction, which means that we're having a hard time aligning with our higher self, seeing the bigger, broader picture, really feeling like we are moving through a healing period, because this particular aspect is going to provide us a little bit of confusion, a little bit of wish-washy emotions here. We're not really sure where to go from here. We're not sure how to actually express what it is that we need to express and get off of our chest. We don't know how to put the suitcases of the emotional baggage down. The moon is going to trine Jupiter, which is going to be a beautiful energy to really show us where it is that we just have to be bold and brave and courageous enough to actually put those suitcases down. We are growing through what it is that we are going through. We are totally transforming our heart space and our head space. With Jupiter here in this Aries energy, he likes to magnify everything, make things a little bit more, I'm going to say, exaggerated than they need to be. And with the dramatic flair of the moon in Leo, you best believe that we are feeling all of the good feels. We're hyping ourselves up. We're reaching new levels of confidence and optimism that we really need in order to encourage us to really push forward, push through the emotional blockages that are coming up for us, and really just kind of, I'm going to say, put our head down and just do what needs to be done in this present moment to clear our heart space out, to lighten that baggage up, and to really see where it is that we are changing the beliefs, not only within ourselves, but what is possible for us when we do not let our past experiences dictate what is possible for us for our future selves. The moon bumps into the sun again. This time, not the nicest interaction. What we get here is a split, a division, if you will. There's an overlap between the past and the emotions that we've accumulated because of the past and the future, and what it is that we need to kind of work through in order for us to have the lightest load possible moving into the new astrological calendar. The moon and the sun coming together in this moment is creating a disconnect, because in the present moment, we're kind of being torn between looking back and looking forward. There's essentially an aspect where we need to look back, we need to be real, we need to be raw, we need to be vulnerable with what has molded and shaped us and created this particular present moment, the emotional experiences, the mental dialogue, the overall script, if you will, of the tough love life lessons that have landed us in this point. And then once we've done that reflection, seeing where the puzzle pieces connect in order to land us to this point, we need to look forward, project ourselves into the future. The sun is shining a bright light on what it is that we need to embody as far as the positive qualities and characteristics of this Pisces energy in order for us to heal, transform, cleanse ourselves, purify ourselves, so that we can kind of align with the new vision, the new goals, the new dreams that we are conjuring up for ourselves. The moon in Leo will be trining beautiful energy with Chiron, who is in Aries energy. So we get some fire on fire action here. And it's a beautiful time for this fire action to actually come into fruition, because Chiron, being the wounded healer, and this being a trine, which means that this is a positive aspect, we are expressing ourselves. We are being real and raw and vulnerable. We are being bold and brave and courageous. We are kind of feeling what it is that we need to be healing. And there is some kind of progress, some kind of growth, some kind of true transformation taking place in our emotional realm and the weight that we've been feeling somehow gets morphed and transformed into something lighter. The sun goes ahead, bumps into Chiron shortly after, in not the nicest way, especially not after this beautiful trine. Now, the sun in Pisces and Chiron being the wounded healer in this Aries energy, this uncomfortable interaction is likely going to trigger some new negative thoughts, some new negative emotions that we have to process, that we have to attempt to heal. So in this particular instance, yes, the moon just trined Chiron. We bossed ourselves up. We have a better narrative. We're feeling a little bit lighter. And then bam, the sun shines a bright light on the past again. This is Pisces energy. We have memories coming back. We have thoughts coming back. We have old emotions coming back. Again, we're in the ocean of this Piscean water, and the waves can get very choppy, and then it can go back to a calm state again. In this particular moment, things are choppy. This is when we have fear and doubts and insecurities. This is where we start questioning whether we have what it takes to actually do what is necessary to move on and create a different reality for ourselves. The beautiful thing about this is that, yeah, we might find ourselves in a little bit of a negative narrative, a little bit of a funk, feeling overwhelmed, feeling almost paralyzed in our current state of emotions and thoughts. But the moon goes ahead and trines with Venus. So this is a beautiful energy for a couple of reasons. First of all, a trine is a beautiful aspect. We get some fire on fire energy again. Let me remind you, fire dries us off from the emotional waters that we're currently sitting in. Fire burns through the cord of attachment that we have to the past. Fire initiates something new. Fire lights us up and recognizes where there's a new spark of excitement, of passion, of desire waiting for us, where it is that we have to bring something new to life. So the fact that we're in Pisces season, we have all of this emotional energy coming at us. We're in a washer machine of vulnerability right now. This fire on fire action is beautiful, especially with Venus, because Venus really is trying to figure out, what's going to make us happy? What's going to bring us joy? What is our greatest sense of pleasure? Who is our greatest support? Where is the worth and the value in our lives? Where do we see it in ourselves? Where do we see it in other people? What are the small little things in our lives that actually bring us the greatest happiness and joy? All of this is very important for putting the pieces together on the new chapter that we're about to walk into, because Venus is already in her new chapter trying to figure it out. She's trying in this Aries energy to be aggressive enough to cut the cord with the things of the past that do not measure up to the happiness, joy, pleasure, safety, security standard that we are now setting for ourselves, because we see the worth and the value in ourselves from a brand new set of eyes. So emotionally speaking, within ourselves, we're starting to figure things out. We know what's going to make us happy. We know what we're excited about. We know what we're passionate about. We're starting to figure things out. And even more than that, if you find yourself in a situation where you need to get these things off of your chest and truly express where it is that you're at in your inner realm to those in your world that needs to hear it, by all means do so. Again, Mercury is in Pisces energy, so we're not the best at articulating what it is that's going on in our inner realm. However, we are making some heart-to-heart connections here, where even if we stumble on our words, the energy that we emote is definitely going to be understood more so than our words could ever be. The moon is going to get into the boxing ring with Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener. So Uranus is in Taurus energy that rules over our physical realms, especially where routines, relationships, and money matters are concerned. The moon, of course, in Leo energy, the heart and soul of the zodiac. We're entering into this boxing ring because, again, just as we make a little bit of progress and identify what it is that we do want, we kind of suck ourselves back into the state of uncertainty. And normally, in a positive interaction, Mr. Uranus would provide us with a whole lot of clarity, would show us the path forward, would download us with an aha moment or an epiphany so that we know where it is that we're going. But this isn't a positive interaction. So instead, we might become a little bit more confused. We might become a little bit cold, rigid, detached from our physical realm. And this is going to be a disconnect because, of course, with the moon in Leo, we want to be close to the people that we love. We want to express ourselves. We want to feel that connection. We want to feel that alignment. But because this is a square and we're kind of uncertain about a couple of things, this Uranian energy is like, you know what? Let me just kind of move to the side and move off into a state of isolation and solitude in order for me to stabilize whatever it is that I'm thinking and feeling. Before I come back and I allow myself to get too close to anyone and say the wrong thing or be defensive enough to push someone away, there is this realization where, guess what? There's an emotional chaos going on inside me right now. Maybe I shouldn't be around people, especially if I am a little bit over dramatic, a little bit overwhelmed with my emotional state, where I might just open my mouth and let things spill out without using a filter. I might actually hurt the people that I'm trying to help and heal here. So there is this like realization that, maybe I need to cool it. Maybe I need to put myself in a timeout until I can kind of gain my bearings again. And then, come back and see how it is that I'm seeing the situation and how it is that I think and I feel about it. It's not going to take very long in order for us to have this aha moment, especially because Mercury goes ahead and bumps into Uranus in a very positive way. So Mercury, ruler of information, communication, and expression, ruler of the mental plane, rules over the lower level of our intellect, our ego intellect, where logic and practicality and strategy and calculation is needed in order to make a plan, in order to bring in all the data, all the information from our environment, kind of process it in a rational and logical way in order for us to come to a certain agreement with how it is that we think and feel about it, and then, of course, support us in being able to communicate that outwards. Well, Uranus is the highest form of our intellect, where we connect to the higher forms of intelligence outside of our physical being. It is where epiphanies and aha moments happen. It is where life-changing perspectives happen. It is where we are rattled and shook up so that we can awaken to a brand new perspective and understanding that will not only alter the way that we look at events of the past, but change this present moment and, of course, alter our plans in moving forward. So we have Mercury and Uranus coming together, blending themselves together, getting us on the same page, if you will, in our higher and lower intellect. Now, the Uranian energy is in Taurus energy, which wants to ground us out and have us focus on where the changes are needed the most in our physical realm, to our routines, our relationships, and our money matters. While Mercury is currently in this Pisces energy, really tapping into the spiritual, philosophical side of our experience and our emotions and our thoughts, where we see things in an abstract kind of way, where things aren't black and white, where we're trying to make something beautiful out of the gray area. Regardless, this is going to be a change in our narrative, a change in our perspective, a change in the direction that we are now orienting ourselves to take. Venus goes ahead, bumps into Uranus. This is the last aspect that we have here today. It is I'm not going to say it's a good one. It's not a bad one. It's an awkward one. And it's an awkward one for a reason. We need to feel uncomfortable and awkward because we're reaching a choice point with what it is that we are going to be doing with our time, our energy, our attention, our passion. Venus, of course, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, and pleasure, in her brand new cycle in this Aries energy, trying to re-identify herself, re-identify what and who makes her happy, provides her with a sense of security and stability. Bumping into Uranian energy, trying to open up our eyes to a different perspective on what absolutely needs to change in our lives. This particular aha moment, this epiphany, it might be a clash, it might not feel so good, but it is a seed that needs to be planted for us to kind of work on to see how it is that our heart and our head are going to align with this new perspective that we have on where it is that maybe we have to cut the cord with some topics and themes, some people in our lives, in order for there to be a space created for us to build something stronger in its place. So regardless of which way we look at it, there's likely going to be a massive change, not only in our mental plane because of Mercury and Uranus kind of coming together in a positive way, but there's going to be a massive shift in our heart space, in our emotions, in our wants, our needs, our desires, when Venus pops off with the Great Awakener himself.